All right, so today's video, we're talking about getting back to the roots of what bodybuilding is, understanding bulking, cutting, the off season, the stuff that we need to know as natural bodybuilders that allows us to grow and have that physique that we want to achieve. The issue that I'm seeing these days, and it's not even just recently, this is since I started lifting, I've been bombarded with this. Luckily, I've had the common sense to break through some of these misconceptions and some of these, I guess, short-term mindsets that a lot of lifters have. When you're in it for the long run, you don't necessarily fall into this trap as easily. But there's a lot of new lifters that have a mindset that is premature. And I'll touch on what this means in a second. So you look at bodybuilding. What does that mean? It's building your body. So the first word is body, which implies yourself, your physical body. The second word is going to be building, and it's building the body. Too many people, too many new lifters especially, get caught up in the body fat percentage portion of bodybuilding. They get way too concerned with their leanness, their cuts, how they look in pictures when they first start lifting. And it's perfectly fine. And I encourage you to have that mindset 8 years down the road. If you're getting sucked into trying to maintain leanness and somehow think your physique will just magically grow, you're falling for a myth, basically. So the word of today is going to be patience. Patience, I think, is the most important thing to have for bodybuilding. And ironically, when it comes to bodybuilding and building your physique, patience is something that it teaches really well. So I understand where you're coming from when you have these desires to just be shredded and not focus on the actual building. But I encourage you to try and avoid this mindset and avoid procrastinating on what truly needs to be done, which is just put on more muscle, which for some reason doesn't get talked about. We celebrate leanness. We look up to leanness all the time. Every physique you see on social media, just some shredded guy. It's some shredded, jacked guy. People focus so much on the leanness, but they don't focus on the muscle that person's built. People will worry about their training, but then they don't bulk. They worry about their programming. They obsess over their programming, which is great and it's important, but they do it in a cut. And you see these things that, in my mind, with the experience that I've had, I can see where these people are going wrong, but I can tell that enough people are blinded by the shreddedness and the leanness that these guys have that they can't see why those people are into the whole leanness thing as a more advanced lifter. So bulking, it's not your off season. It's the most important part of lifting. And don't get me wrong, you can't bulk without a cut. They complement each other really well. They're opposites that I think attract, and that's what allows you to have successful bulks. But you need to develop patience to succeed in bodybuilding. Too many guys see a shredded bodybuilder and chase their leanness before chasing their muscle. When bulking, they worry about losing their abs and blind themselves from seeing the opportunity to improve literally every other muscle, including their abs. Funny enough, it's ironic, right? So people get so obsessed with the leanness. They see someone like Chris Bumstead or whoever it is, whatever influencer that person's following, so obsessed with the leanness. And I get it. It looks good. It's cool. But the leanness means nothing if you don't have the physique. So that's what I was talking about earlier when you have a premature mindset. Once you have all of the muscle that you want, go enjoy a lean physique. Try and sustain something that's as lean as you want, that is sustainable. Like, figure something out like that, and that's totally cool. But you have to build the muscle first. And so many times when lifters go into a bulk, they focus so much on losing their abs that they miss, they're blinded by losing their abs, that they miss the opportunity of, okay, well, yeah, maybe your abs are fading a little bit, but every single other muscle group has the opportunity to grow. including your abs. Like I said, your abs grow during a bulk. When you cut next time, your abs will look better. It's building muscle, just like anything else, right? So it pains me. It pains me to see that we've lost the focus on actual muscle building and we've become so obsessed with leanness. And it has to be now. It's always instant. Wait, be patient. Go through a bulk, see some muscle that you grow, and you'll be like, all right, well, I built a decent amount of muscle during this bulk. Let me keep going. Let me do a mini cut and keep bulking. Maybe I don't need to have my most shredded peak physique yet when I'm a kid or in my early 20s and I still have all these years to build muscle. Anybody in their teens or 20s, unless you're like well over 20% body fat, I don't see a reason to try and stay shredded. When you're in your 30s or when you're older and you've built up most of your muscle, that's when you can enjoy your cuts. If you just stay shredded throughout your teens and 20s and you get into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you never built up your base, that's going to suck because you're going to look back and say, what was the point of being lean this whole time when I never built up muscle? And now I'm older and now I have to start everything. I've been procrastinating because I chased leanness versus chasing the muscle. Once you have enough muscle, then you can chase the leanness, but you have to chase the muscle first. I think that's the secret that so many people are too blind to see because they're too obsessed with their abs. And it's unfortunate to see because I think leanness is cool and I think it's necessary. I think cutting can be a rewarding process, but building is what's rewarding. Building is what's fun. Building is how you get the physique that you want and how you level up past other lifters and become more advanced. That's the secret. And you have to embrace the bulk. And the way that so many people bulk is it's so backwards. These guys don't take their training seriously on a bulk because it's the off season. They stop trying because it's the off season. It doesn't matter. They're fluffy anyways. Who cares, right? Or they go chase strength or something else, which isn't building them as much muscle as they should be anyways. And then when it comes to cutting, they take their training seriously. And I'm like, it's so backwards. It's so frustrating to see because, yeah, like I respect it. It's cool to refine your training and understand programming, but you're in a cut. So it doesn't matter. It's defeating the purpose. And I think when you're cutting, of course, your programming matters, but it's like you're kind of just maintaining. You're just doing the same thing. Yeah, a few lifts are going to go down. You'll lose some reps on probably some overhead pressing, probably a little bit of bench. Any bigger lower body compound lifts, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of strength on there. It's like just maintain. Just do your minimum effective volume on a cut. Focus on recovery. Just shed fat, maintain your muscle. It's as simple as that. Like, and I'm not trying to say that your training on a cut doesn't matter, but when you cut, that's the time to not ease up on your training, but to stop overanalyzing is what I'm trying to say. Still train hard, train as hard as you need to maintain your muscle, but take a step back from being obsessed with your programming. That's what I do on my cuts. I take a step back. I go into the gym, I get out, I don't really think about it much. The diet's enough to deal with anyways, right? So enjoy the cuts. You're not building muscle. Take your foot off the gas a little bit when it comes to programming mods and optimizing everything. Do what you need to do. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze and just let it be. When you're bulking, this is the time your training really matters. You should be putting your foot pedal to the metal, going all out, pushing as much as you possibly can, whilst obviously still being able to recover and grow. But this is when it matters. And it pains me to see so many guys that need to bulk, try to bulk, lose their abs, and maintain, or go right back into a cut. And they go back and forth all these times. It's so we need to make a change, is what I'm trying to say. We have to focus more on the building part of bodybuilding. You need to earn that leanness. Like I said, it's that 8 years down the road mindset. I'm a younger guy. In my opinion, I'm not going to judge anybody for what they decide to do with their bodybuilding because ultimately it's you. In my mind, I have no business being shredded. I have another probably 5-6 years of like legit bulking where I can put on a lot of muscle. I think I still have another 20 pounds I can build realistically in the next 3 to 5 years. I genuinely think I can do that. So when I understand that, I really don't see a point in just trying to get shredded. Mini cuts, sure, that's one thing, but why now? Why now? I'll do it when I have all that muscle. So when I'm at the level of muscularity that I want to be, sure, then I'll cut. And when it comes to bulking, nobody takes their bulk seriously. How many times do you hear these guys talk about, I gain this many pounds per month, I'm doing my bulk for this long of a time period, I'm aiming to hit this body weight and gain this much per week, per month, etc. Nobody talks about it. The way that most people bulk, especially these influencers, they get way too shredded with not enough muscle. They just take good pictures and good lighting, so they look a little bit bigger than they are. And this isn't to try and call it influencers or whatever, but this is what I'm trying to say. These guys get super shredded. You want to copy them because they look great on Instagram and have a bunch of followers. They call their bulk the off season, so they get super shredded, realize it's not sustainable, do a bodybuilding show or whatever, rebound, gain like 15 pounds in a month, and then just maintain that higher body fat percentage physique until they have to cut again. And they call it a bulk. That's not a bulk. A bulk it's the inverse of a cut, just a slower process. If you're losing 8 pounds a month or 2 pounds a week for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, a bulk is probably, I don't know, maybe a quarter of that rate for 4 times as long. It's pretty straightforward, but we're so precise with our cuts. But when it comes to bulks, it's like, all right, well, just rebound, gain a bunch of fat real quick, which destroys your health, and then just maintain that weight for 6 months until you decide you want to get shredded again. That's the least productive way to go about things. If you're going to do a bulk, take it slow. Pick a target. I mean, to give you a general rule of thumb, guys, I'd say 2 to maybe 3.5 to 4 pounds gained per month for a beginner training hard. That's not a bad starting point. For my intermediate guys, 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a month, maybe 2.5 is great. If you're a little bit more advanced, 1 pound a month, maybe 1.5 pounds a month is a perfect spot to be in. I'm aiming for about 1.5 pounds, maybe up to 2 pounds per month on my bulk right now. I'm weighing myself every day. I have a chart that checks my trend line to make sure I'm on pace. This isn't me just, I finished my mini cut, so now it's off season. Let me just gain 15 pounds right back and call it bulking and half-ass my training. When I was cutting, yeah, my training, I'm not going to say it was half-assed because I was still training hard, but I didn't think about it. I just said, all right, well, this will maintain my muscle. I'll just go do this. Could I have done better? Maybe. Could I have maintained a little more muscle? Maybe. But now that I'm bulking, I have systems in place to allow me to maximize the work that I'm doing and maximize volume when I need to and progress when I need to. Nobody does this on a bulk because you start bulking, you just get afraid that your abs are gone and you're blinded by that. You need to look outwards. You have every single other muscle in your body to grow and to give hypertrophy to. So it upsets me to see the potential that so many lifters have. And not to mention just the mental health aspect. When you're so caught up in just constantly being shredded, that takes a toll on you. I see it all the time. When it comes to building, when you focus on building muscle and you put that as your top priority, you don't really care if you lose your abs because, yeah, maybe my abs are a little bit more faded, but every single other muscle group is growing, including your abs. You just don't see it yet because you haven't cut back down to see the growth. But when you're bulking, make it precise. Give your body a couple extra calories. A couple extra calories to support muscle growth. A little bit of fat's going to come with that, and that's totally fine. But muscle, that's what's going to stick on you. That's what stays. The fat is temporary. I think so many of us get caught up in how we feel in the current present moment. How do I feel right now? Well, bodybuilding isn't about right now. And I think that's the best way to put it. And that brings me back to that first topic I had. It's about patience. Bodybuilding builds patience. Don't focus on how you feel right now. Take the steps to get there. When you're cutting down, focus on your leanness. Don't worry so much about your training. Like I said, enjoy that time, get shredded, see the muscles come through. Like, you're not building muscle in a cut, so don't focus on that. Don't waste all your time and energy focusing on that, because you're just going to want to bulk. When you're bulking, don't worry about trying to stay shredded. Save that for the cut. Put that mental energy there. When you're bulking, focus on building up all the muscle that you possibly can. And that distracts you from worrying about your abs when you see everything else grow. And guess what? Once you have all that muscle, you can get to a point where you're pretty satisfied with your physique and just maintain it from there and maintain a leaner physique. Like, you've earned it at that point. But if you're a newer lifter or a younger guy, even if you've been lifting for a while, like myself, like I've been lifting for a while and I'm still a younger guy, I still have so much time. There's no need to do it yet. It's the patience, and that patience that I have now was built through bodybuilding. Like that, I wasn't just like born some perfect, oh, I get it, when I'm 32 I'll just get lean. Like that, it's lifting that taught me that, and I want lifting to teach you guys that too, because I'm nothing special. I'm just a normal guy, and I think that's what I like about this channel. Is I'm not a genetic freak, I'm not a genius, I'm just a normal guy that's gone through the right experience. So I think that's valuable. Let's see what else I have on here. Don't sacrifice the future for the present. The future will soon be the present. That's pretty much all I got for today. So if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments. This should be an interesting one because I have not talked about it yet on the channel. I will see you guys soon.